Brilliance Audio presents A Wild and Precious Life by Edie Windsor with Joshua Lyon. Performed by Donna Postel and Joshua Lyon.
Preface. Edie Windsor and I met for the first time when she was interviewing different writers to help her craft a memoir. It happened to be the 8th anniversary of the day I'd met my husband, so I went in with the attitude that even if I didn't get hired, I was lucky to get a chance to thank the woman who'd made our marriage possible, in person, on such an important day in our personal history. A cool little footnote to add to our story. She took appointments in her apartment at 2 Fifth Avenue, just above the arch at Washington Square Park. When I got off the elevator on her floor, she was already striding toward me down the hallway, beaming with arms outstretched, her door open behind her. The light spilling out created a sort of background halo effect, and with her body-hugging black suit, silver nails, bright pink lipstick, and perfectly styled blonde hair, I felt for a moment that I'd fallen into the opening number of an old Hollywood musical and that she was about to break out in song. Instead, she placed her hands on my cheeks, gave me a kiss, and began talking. When I left 3.5 hours later, I walked down to the park and sat on a bench, more than a little dazed. It was early springtime and warm, the sun was shining, and my mind was racing with ideas about how to best help tell her story. I'd known the cliff notes going in, her Supreme Court case that overturned Section 3 of the Defense of Marriage Act, a 44-year love affair, and how the second half of that relationship had been spent helping care for her partner, Thea, who'd been diagnosed with MS. In fact, I'd heard the narrative so many times that before our meeting I wasn't even sure I wanted to rewrite something that I thought had already been heard 1,000 times. But the stories she told, they were full of family intrigue, wild sex, a jungle rescue, and heartbreak, all set against huge cornerstones in American history. I was overjoyed when I learned she chose me to work with her, and I spent the next several months collecting hours and hours of audio and filling notebooks, poring over old slides and boxes of love letters. One of the first lessons Edie unintentionally taught me was to check an ageist stereotype I hadn't realized I had. During our first official interview, I started off with a question, and her answer was about a completely different subject. Senility, I thought nervously. She was 87 at the time, hard of hearing and starting to forget words, much to her fury. God damn it to hell, she'd swear. I should have started this fucking thing years ago.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?